deaf people, what are some things you thought were silent but later found out they weren't? I was born completely deaf and got my first cochlear implant when I turned 16. My parents had been pushing for it since I was little, but I kept refusing because I was perfectly happy in my silent world. The day they activated my implant was like stepping into an alien universe. Suddenly everything had sound, and I mean everything. The audiologist warned me it would be overwhelming, but nothing could have prepared me for the chaos. The first shock came when I walked to the bathroom after my appointment. I sat down to pee and heard this loud rushing water sound. I jumped up, thinking something was broken. My mom had to explain through tears of laughter that peeing makes noise. For 16 years, I thought it was completely silent, but that was just the beginning of my sound discoveries. Walking became this weird symphony. Every footstep made noise on different surfaces. Carpet was soft thumps, hardwood was sharp clicks, and don't get me started on gravel. I spent 20 minutes just walking back and forth on our driveway, amazed that each step sounded like tiny explosions. Eating was absolutely disgusting. I had no idea chewing was so loud and gross. That first dinner, I kept asking my family if they could hear my mouth making all these wet crunching sounds. They said yes, but you just learned to ignore it. How do hearing people eat without being grossed out constantly? My cat Oliver became this whole different creature. Apparently he'd been meowing at me for years, and I never knew. The first time I heard him, I thought there was a baby crying somewhere. He also purrs, which sounds like a tiny motor running. Plus his footsteps on hardwood sound like little tap dancers. The biggest shock came during my first night sleeping with the implant. I kept hearing this rhythmic thumping sound that scared me. I woke up my parents thinking someone was in the house. Dad checked everywhere before realizing I was hearing my own heartbeat through the pillow. Nobody told me hearts make noise. School became a nightmare of new sounds. Pencils scratching on paper sounded like nails on chalkboards. Kids clicking pens drove me absolutely crazy. The worst was when people cracked their knuckles. I literally screamed the first time my friend Jake did it, thinking he broke something. But the most embarrassing discovery happened during lunch. I was eating an apple when this girl named Tessa sitting nearby started laughing. I asked what was funny and she said I was eating really loudly. Apparently biting and chewing apples sounds like someone stomping on bubble wrap. I had been crunching away completely unaware that everyone could hear me. The weirdest thing was learning that some of my habits were actually really annoying. I used to tap my fingers on desks when I was thinking. Turns out that makes noise and had been driving my teachers crazy for years. They just never said anything because they knew I couldn't hear it.